In this video, I'll be teaching you how you can combine Apollo IO and Apify to scrape 4,500 to 5,000 leads, which will cost you around $5 only. Of course, this method comes with some disadvantages, and I'll be teaching you in this video exactly what these disadvantages are and what alternatives you can use when scraping for leads. So the only two tools you need are basically Apify, which is the fire emoji Apollo scraper, scrape up to 50k leads, and you can already see it's $1.20 for 1,000 leads, and you need Apollo, right? In my case, I have a pro account. However, you can also do that with a free account, right? So what you do is basically you go to people search. There's also company search and a bunch of other settings and options. We're only focusing on the people search right now. We're going to set the filter CEO, location is Germany, Switzerland, Austria, just for the sake of this explainer video. And I've added an industry keyword, which is computer software. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to copy this search URL because it already includes all the search filters. I'm going to go over to Apify, to my actor. I'm going to paste the search URL, and I have to add the total number of records required. In this case, I have 500, which is the minimum amount of people you have to select. The rest of the options I'm going to keep untouched. Once I start or hit start, this actor will start running. And what you will then be able to see is, if I'm doing that, it's basically starting the process. So scraping successfully started. It's fetching page number 1. So on page number 1, we have around 100 results. So if you scroll right here, you have 25 results, but basically it's just scraping 100 results, which is a page for Apify. And it's doing that basically for 5 pages until we reach our limit, which we actually specified, which is 500 people, right? So it's scraping all the results. It takes a couple of seconds, and then we would actually be able to see the results. What you can do in the meantime is basically check out the link above this video or under this video, which basically gives you a free account of Apify, and also sign up for Apollo. You have some free credits for Apify, but also Apollo that you can use, and just get started by searching your own leads. What are some of the disadvantages now that this actor is running and we're waiting for the output? Obviously, this method is already used by a lot of companies, which means the method uses its effectiveness if you reach out to people via mail or phone, which brings me to the second biggest disadvantages probably, which is that it sometimes doesn't even enrich the list fully with email and contact data. So you don't have email all the time and phone number all the time, which basically means you need a couple of other data sources to actually enrich this list with. Basically, if you go to output and you see the results, right, we have, for example, right here, some leads that you can see. So you see the information right here, first name and last name. You see the headline, the LinkedIn URL, and some other information. However, I can tell you already that the data quality of Apollo is okay-ish. However, you need to be aware that you have to have a waterfall approach, which means you have to stack multiple sources behind each other in order to be sure that if email is not found by Apollo or the phone number is not found by Apollo, then another data source will come in and basically fill that gap, right? But anyway, I think if you're starting your own business, or if you have already a business and want to try this method, give it a spin. And I think the better your filter settings are, right, that you can put in this left column right here, the better your input is, the better your output is going to be. I think it's pretty simple, right? Garbage in equals garbage out. Give it a try. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.